That's it, you're almost there. Come on, I've got you. After just 11 months in your mother's womb, you're born into the world. Unlike other animals, you're not going around sucking on pacifiers or learning how to walk. No, you already know how to run. You're fast, and if you were in the wild, you'd be able to keep up with the herd in a matter of hours. But that's the thing, it doesn't seem like you're in the wild. As you slowly open your eyes and look around, you realize you're not in a grassy plain. You're inside a stable. You look at a nearby table and see beans on toast. This tells you all you need to know. You're in England, in the Middle Ages. For the first few weeks of your life, you're entirely dependent on your mother's milk. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you're not going to be spending your life pulling carts on a farm. Based on the way the stable master looks at you and the number of armored men outside, you're a destrier, a horse specifically bred for jousting and war. We'll touch more on that later. The point is, a lot of planning went into your birth. Only the strongest, largest, and heartiest stallions were chosen for breeding. Your dad is an absolute unit, and he was raised as a destrier himself, and his father before him, and his father before him, and you get the picture. It's horses all the way down. You're pretty proud of him. You should probably get him a best dad horseshoe for Father's Day. But that's a faraway prospect, at least for now. Your only business now is sticking with your mom. Just you and your brothers horsing around. As a future prized warhorse, you're well cared for. You have the best room in the stable with all the pleasures a young horse could ask for. The other horses, on the other hand, are stuck in second-rate rooms. Poor suckers. Up until this point, you've survived mostly on your mother's milk, but now that you're a few years older, the stable master gradually weans you to eat other food. Your diet involves various kinds of feed, ranging from barley and hemp to various vegetables or milled grain. Gradually, this balanced diet helps you become big and strong, big enough that you can be sold. But before some baron or earl will buy you, you need to be trained in the basics of being a horse. As a future warhorse, there's a lot of things you'll have to get used to. The first and perhaps most obvious part is that you have to get used to someone riding you. You'll be fitted with a bridle, a saddle, a horse bit, and reins, so get used to them. You'll practically be wearing them for the rest of your life. You are trained to respond to light nudges from the reins or cues from the rider, typically through them applying slight pressure. Generally, most of your training is quite basic. You're taught to ride straight ahead, carry heavy loads on your back, and get used to having a saddle and bridle on for most of your life. You'll just have to deal with that slight itch on your nose that you can't quite get rid of. You are also taught to respond to basic commands like halt, turn, or gait. A worker will also take you on walks around the city so you can get used to large crowds and loud sounds. Hey, look, he even got you an ice cream cone. What a nice guy. Finally, as you reach about 5 years of age and with your basic training complete, the stable master deems you fit to be sold off to some rich noble. You'll get your on-the-job training some other time. You are brought to London in all its filth, squalor, and economic inequality. Just breathe it all in. Ah, London. The stable master leads you and several of your brothers to the local horse market, which is, by some miracle, cleaner than the front gates. The 100 Years' War is still going on. There's a lot of demand for destriers like you, and a lot of hatred for those Frenchies across the sea. The market is filled with potential buyers. They are squires, knights, barons, and earls, all looking to bolster their own rapidly decreasing stock of horses. Destriers like you are worth between £20 and £40 sterling, an exorbitant price at the time given the circumstances. For reference, it would take a laborer up to a decade to save up that much money. It looks like the knight has taken a liking to you. From now on, you will be under his ownership and protection. This is yet another important aspect of your training. It's crucial to form a close relationship with your rider, as your bond matters a lot. The greater the trust between you, the better. Your owner, Harry, is a wealthy nobleman who's bought you in preparation for a local jousting tournament that will be held in a few weeks. From here on out, you'll undergo a more specialized training regimen to get you used to the chaos of a joust. You see, as a horse, you are naturally skittish and prone to fleeing at the first sight of danger. Not ideal if you'll be running headfirst into battle. Fortunately, most of that fear is pretty much gone thanks to your pedigree and upbringing. Still, to make sure you don't panic, you are gradually desensitized to loud noise, large crowds, and bodies hitting the floor. So basically, you just need to get tickets to a mosh pit. Well, other than that, life with Harry is good. He treats you well as any good knight should, and you have a strong bond. He also feeds you carrots, your favorite. You like Harry. You've grown quite fond of him. It's now 6 weeks later and you're ready for a joust. Harry puts on your armor and brings you to the tournament grounds called a list field. There are a lot of other horses around, and you're nervous, but don't worry, you've worked hard. You'll do just fine. A man in full black armor approaches Harry and talks to him, but you don't quite catch his name. He seems like a fine fellow. After they have their little chat, Harry rides you to the other end of a wooden barrier called a tilt. You don't really know the rules of the joust. All you know is that you have to ride into that other horse across the field really, really fast. You see a strange man wave a flag and you feel Harry pressure you forward. You immediately speed off. Your muscles pulse with energy as you reach speeds of up to 25 miles per hour. The gap between you and the other horse rapidly closes, and you know what? You don't like the look of him, and at the last second, you give yourself a little burst of speed. Harry slams his lance and shatters it into the other rider. Harry looks happy, and if he's happy, you're happy too. You're not sure what's going on. People are cheering. That must be a good thing, so you keep doing what you're doing. And what is it that you're good at? It's galloping towards another horse at Mach fast. And again, and again, and again, and again. There's a lot of yelling and a lot of noise. The sound of wooden lances smashing against shields and armor is yet another part of your training. It's meant to get you used to the sound of battle. Well, it looks like Harry won. You're quite proud of yourself, and you're quite proud of Harry. He really hit those people hard. Very hard. It looks as if he won a neat decorative chalice. Oh, and a $50 gift card to Costco. Harry uses this money to get you more carrots. This isn't such a bad gig at all. Later that evening, you sleep in a large tent while you hear Harry partying in the tent next to you. Sounds like he's having a good time. The next morning, you hear Harry boasting about you to his friends. You did a pretty good job, so now you're coming along for the long haul. Harry takes you across the country to compete at even more tournaments. You become a decorated steed. Harry has become a massively successful knight, no small thanks to your impeccable skill. After one tournament, you see Harry talking to the man in black armor again. You recognize him from the tournament in London. Harry walks back to you, tosses a small carrot, and says you're going to a place called France. That sounds nice. You could use a vacation after working so hard. You are part of a small cavalry detachment led by Jean III de Graille, Capitale de Bourg. Your mission is simple, to outflank the French and threaten to outmaneuver them. The sounds of flying arrows, steel smashing into steel, and the cries of one man dying after another do not faze you. This is what you've been trained for. Your stamina has greatly improved thanks to your experience jousting. As the main center of the English army engages the French vanguard, you and the other horses circle around to slam into the French rear. There's nothing on your mind but running as fast as possible. As you exit the somewhat thick forest, you manage to catch the enemy completely by surprise. You feel arrows whiz past your face and ears, but you can think of nothing but galloping as fast as possible. You encounter the first scattered line of resistance. Your natural destrier temperament means you also bite, kick, and trample over anyone in your way. Eventually, you make it past these stragglers, and you slam into the French shield line. The French promptly surrender, and you capture King John II. Mission accomplished. Harry wipes the blood from his face and yours, and he hops down to congratulate you. As he inspects you, he finds a few arrows. Actually, he finds more than a few arrows. Well, that can't be good. You feel a little sleepy. You're thinking you'll take a nap.